unbeatable on paper. And then came the dot com crash in 2002, where my first realization came in, where I first felt deeply insecure. That led me to believe, oh boy, I am fragile. And so that dream was shaken, but I could not translate that success into the financial markets. Why is that? My personal system, why I wasn't translating was the gremlins in me. I cannot blame the markets. It's not the markets, it's me. You are the solution architect of your life.
Hello, welcome to Mindset2Results. Today we have amazing guest with us, Asim Kumar. What if the real reason you feel stuck isn't a lack of tools, knowledge, or technology, but something happening inside your own thinking? In today's episode with Asim Kumar, we explore why AI can give you speed, but only real intelligence can give you direction. Hi, Asim.
Hi, Elena. Thank you for having me here. I'm so excited for this conversation.
You are most welcome. And our conversation today is not just conversation about AI. This is a conversation about how you think, decide and act in a world driven by AI. So I have some question for you, Asim.
Sure.
You had a successful career in tech, yet you describe yourself as blocked for years. So my question to you is what was really going on behind the scenes?
So, again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to go over my story that I put it on my book, Unblocked, and the answers will come. And this is a great question to start with. So that leads me back to my tech career of 32 years that started in mid 90s, and the life was great. I was unbeatable on paper, and then came the dot com crash in 2002, where my first realization came in, where I first felt deeply insecure because left and right people were getting laid off with highly credentialed people just like me and even more experienced than me. That led me to believe, oh boy, I am fragile. This master's degree and this top certifications and this experience and working with conglomerates is not going to cut it, looks like. So I took a fork in the road and got into financial markets. I said maybe the greener pastures are on the financial market where I'll be much better off. So I started my journey in that direction. And 2007, I even enrolled in a full-time program for MBA for executives. And then thinking that I will switch careers into finance. And lo and behold, 2008 came right in the middle of the program. And so that dream was shaken. That's when I realized my acres of diamond was in still in tech, and finance was going to go slow. So 2009, even after I graduated, I was still involved in financial markets, but tech was my bread and butter. So that kind of got me thinking. To your question on where I felt blocked was, here's the guy who's so intelligent, high IQ, very successful in tech, but I could not translate that success into the financial markets. Why is that? So you probably have heard 95% of retail traders fail in financial markets, and they are really driven by emotions. So that's got me going and studying psychology, human behavior, which I had never thought of I would ever do, because I was only left side thinker on the left brain. And as I delved, asked more questions about me, not able to translate that success in the financial markets, because I had early retirement goals back in the day, and that was not going to be achievable based on what I was experiencing. So I took a self study in human behavior and psychology, and then found out my personal system why I wasn't translating was the gremlins in me. I discovered patience. Being a tech, I was very impatient, high ego, right? So discipline was one of the other ones. And then focus is the next big one. I was chopping wood like a blunt axe, so I had to sharpen my scale, so I had to sharpen my focus. And above all these, energy management was the key differentiator because as a tech, I never worked on my personal health. I was eating, drinking, howsoever I wanted because in tech, it's not up to you. The machines will run and they will eventually recover. But in financial markets, once you lose the tick, you lose the beat, you lose a lot of money. And that's what was happening with me. And my energy was low. I could not focus. So ADHD had definitely had an impact that I transferred from the tech side. So those were all the blockages that I discovered that I needed to work on, which I did, and that's what kind of took me to this the unblocking that I cannot blame the markets. It's not the markets, it's me. So that's how I came up with the message in the book that you are the solution architect of your life, nobody else. And then took up the ownership on yourself that you need to work on to get going, regardless of what comes to you. So don't play the blame game that it's coming from outside. It's all internal to start with.
Yes, yes, it's so true. And interesting how you discovered that. Yes, coming from technical part and searching for the reason for success, why you didn't get real that success which you thought you deserve and you meant to have, and you found the answer in psychology and mental behavior and beliefs.
Yep.
As you said, it's so true that everything comes from within. We cannot get in life anything else that what we already are. And if we have different results from what we want, we have to see inside what makes me behave this way or think this way or feel this way that
Yep.
like attracts these results which I produce. Amazing, amazing conclusion. And the book, I'm sure it will be so interesting to read. So, why do you say that more technology often makes people slower instead of faster?
So I've been always a believer on use of technology. There is so much out there, especially now. There used to be a time where the life cycle of technology used to be 3 to 5 years. Now it's coming at 18 months. And with now in the era of AI, it's going to go even faster. So every week you're hearing GPT-4, 5, 6 coming up. Then people are really who are trying to catch up are overwhelmed. What tools to use? What do we do? Like there is so much out there. Where do I start? So overwhelm is the number one reason where the technology will slow you down. And then in my book, the way I started, it's three-part book. It's the alignment piece, and then the measurement and execution. So the first piece is the alignment piece, where I talk about people, process, and technology. So the question you asked is what was on the technology side only, and that's where most of the corporations and businesses make the mistake is just focus on the technology. They think more technology is going to fix their cultures in the business, their other issues in the business, the processes. So what they don't realize is they don't ask is, are our people ready for this? And do we have processes that need retweaking, refixed before we even delve into the technologies? So there is a lot of FOMO that goes on, just like in financial markets, in the tech market as well. Hey, our competition is outgrowing us, so we need to buy this tech without realizing their own infrastructure. So I take this three-legged stool approach for people, process, technology, is you can't just have technology go up and not work on your people and process. Your stool will topple over time. So that's where I tell them, you throw in more technology without working on your processes and people, it's going to get you slower eventually in the long run. That's what I meant.
Yes, we should remember that companies is people. Yes, these people who are the essence of every company. Without people, the company is just chairs and tables, like the furniture, and there is no company
Yeah.
without people.
So, like by default, they are taken for granted. Hey, yeah, you can figure it out. So I've put it in my books and examples where training was overlooked. Hey, yeah, our people are smart, they can learn it. But when the outage happens with the new tech and they realize, oh, wow, we lost so much money due to the outage. You took people for granted. And yeah, you can do so much reading a book, learning about it. But if you don't give your people practical hands-on training or give them ability to get trained on those, you will have those situations and you save now but pay later.
Yes, and as you said, that understanding psychology of people behavior is something that every CEO and every leader have to know, right? Because it is not even enough to give people trainings, because we have very big difference between what we know and what we do. Even if we just give people trainings and they have information, doesn't guarantee that they will execute according to what they learned, because automated patterns of our behavior is very strong. And this
Yeah.
is not just giving information, but creating those new routines and accountability to help people implement that new things which they learned. This is the key.
So training by itself is, like I said, not just reading a book or training manual. It has to be hands-on, very practical that they can apply. That's where the execution part comes in. So it's one thing is like in cybersecurity, we talk about awareness training. I went through the awareness training, but the next email comes in with a phishing attempt. I click on it. So what was the point of that? So there, a lot of people still fail at, but unless it is practically made awareness and the people are on board emotionally, yes, there is some alignment. How the success will come in. So that's a balancing act I talk about from a process standpoint, from a people standpoint, and the tech, which is I call tech just as an amplifier. So if you have broken processes in your company, you're going to create a environment of chaos because our tech is going to amplify that broken process, not fix it. So
Yes, today so many people have different perspectives and perceptions about AI. So, what do you think that is the biggest misconception people have today about AI and success?
So I talk about this fear factor that AI will replace me. So message in my book is part of the intelligence, real intelligence is no, AI will replace people without AI. So AI will not replace you. A person with AI will replace you. So you have to get on board, start learning about AI, whichever field you are in, and then slowly acclimatize without getting overwhelmed, so that you can compete. So I talk about work. So what that leads into the execution phase is willingness to obtain real knowledge. That's work, not the hard work or like the labor we do. So willingness to obtain real knowledge. And what is real knowledge? Real knowledge is the experience by doing things and putting it in practice. It's not just the training, the books you read. It's actual implementation of those, and then continuously learning. And as I mentioned, the life cycle of technology is reduced by months now. So you probably heard earlier this year, Anthropic CEO said most of the 25% of the white collar jobs will be gone. So yeah, that's a scary statement. How do you go about that? So you have to figure out like, yes, what can I do to position myself as still employable, and that is continuous learning. So you need to start thinking, rethinking work. What does that mean? I need to continuously, just having a master's or a PhD is not going to cut it right now, right? Because there will be always something new coming and you will have to learn that new thing. So that's the mindset you have to have, is ever growing, that that will make it the real intelligence part. So that's what I call real intelligence, is uh, ability to adapt, architect, and then empathize and manage your risk. Because a lot of people are scared, I'm going to lose the job. That's a risk they are going to go through. So rethink work in that sense.
Yes, and I can tell that when people worry that they are going to lose their job, this is what exactly it will happen. Yes, because if their worry is about losing something, they will lose. But if they just replace that thought and thinking how I can be that specialist which always is in great demand, that
Yeah.
always.
So for further elaborate on work, in my book, I divide them in a hard work versus smart work. So hard work, wherever you are right now, you need to be, basically hard stands for happy, attitude, rigor, and discipline. So the discipline I mentioned before in my EPDF, where I did my self-assessment for my personal operating system, and this happy attitude, this is the mindset that you need to go with. And rigor is basically you need to be rigorous, and then discipline is consistency and learning. So that's the hard part, not the labor. I'm talking like writing 1,000 lines of codes and stuff like that. So that's gone, right? We have vibe coding now, so that's all gone. Smart, on the other hand, is part of the continuous learning process. Not the smart goals, it's the smart work. Is study, master, apply, revise, and then track your progress. So it's like a vicious continuous loop that you have to be in order to keep up with this ever growing technology. So that's the smart work. So put the combination, you get the overall rethink work framework in there.
Yes, I'm totally agree with what you said, and one of my favorite authors and legends, Earl Nightingale, he said
All
that
right.
attitude is the most important word. Yes, because
Yep.
changing attitude, we totally change our perspective, how we look at things, and we change the results. And I also like his quote that when you when we change attitude towards ourselves and life will change attitude toward us.
Yep. So I'll give you my unblocked version of attitude, where I was coming in from tech, very successful. Hey, it's easy. Stock charts are easy to understand. I'll be successful. So that was my attitude back then. When I got smashed, right? So my attitude changed. Like, oh no, I need to continuously learn because it's a very dynamic field, right? It's based on human behavior and emotions, which are not static. They are always changing. So that was the attitude shift I had to have, is from a static mindset to a growth mindset. So that was the unblockage from there.
Amazing. Can AI actually make people worse decision makers if they relied on it too much?
Again, yes. So if it's just the tech side of it, yes. So that's where I will point back to the PPT, the people process technology. You can't extend technology beyond like balancing your people and processes. Your stool will topple over time, and it will make you slower. Yes, where you have to look for yourself is the people part, that because you are the one who's going to give direction. Because to tell you the truth right now, especially where the tech is right now on AI, it there is a black box problem. All you have to do is talk to it and do something for you, soup to nuts, and it does. But you have no idea what's in the back end of it. So that's where the humanness comes in, is ability to question, how are you securing my infrastructure? How is it really working in the back end? So to basically peel the onion there, and So that's why you need to take those judgmental calls. That's where the real intelligence comes in. I hope that answers your question there.
So AI is good to use, but we shouldn't rely completely on AI, because this is where the danger comes when people just start using, relying on AI and stop thinking. Yes,
Yep.
but what we want to do, we want to think and use AI just a companion which generates ideas and makes this just processes faster. But we
Yeah. Remember, the R in the hard is rigor. You need to be rigorous about this thing. And you can't just say, yep, you can't blindly trust it. Especially now we live in a zero trust environment. You always verify. You can't just say, yeah, AI is going to do everything for me. And then basically you can't put your problem outside of you, that AI is going to solve your lifelong problems. You have to take the ownership eventually. That's just a tool that is at your service. So don't make it a master. You are the master.
Yes, your the master and solution is always is in you. Yes, and other things is just the tools to bring those solutions from within to the surface. Yes, so another question I have for you. What does being blocked actually look like in real life for leaders and entrepreneurs?
Yeah, so the reason I wrote this book was about the anxiety that it creates. Any new tech that comes in that threatens the current environment. So I call them, they are, no matter how high performing or wherever they are in the food chain, they are anxious inside. And they sometimes don't even know about it. All they are doing is just grinding harder, hustling harder without knowing why, until something definitely happens to them in the form of layoff. Then they realize. And then they have all these other issues. They could have some medical issues popping up and they have no idea why. And generally, the idea is you are stressing your system so much that you are having these heart issues, mental issues. So that's where the blockages start coming to light. And it is because you are overloaded at work and then trying to run too fast beyond your means.
Yes, I liked that you included happiness in your formula. So happiness is really very important when people feel that they are that person who are they meant to be, and they feel comfortable in their skin. Yes, that it is not that they want to show something that they are not, or they are always in competition. So it has a lot of ingredients. So what?
Yeah, so what I learned in the self-study of psychology were all those hormones, right? The dopamine, the cortisol, the serotonin, the oxytocin, and all those good stuff, right? So for the anxious professional, you have that deadly cortisol increasing, and happiness is the dopamine, the medicinal effect of that, right? That will balance your stress. So that's why happiness is important. And it is definitely from an energy vibration standpoint. If you are happily doing work at your current environment, you will attract the same thing from a law of attraction standpoint. I've studied a little bit of that as well. If you're happy here, then you will attract happiness elsewhere. That's why you will see people jump jobs after jobs. It's the same result. It's because of that, because their attitude is the same of disgruntledness. And then they always get disgruntledness in the next job as well. So that's where I tie it.
Yes, this is very true. And the law of attraction is based on the primary law, that is law of vibration. Yes, so the
Yep.
way how we vibrate, our
Yep.
body become magnet for the same kind of vibrations with the same rate. It is like a channel. If you we want to listen certain kind of music or program, we know which diapason or frequency we get on
Yep.
radio or television. And this is exactly how it works. When we learn to be happy, grateful, and content with where we are now, and have big goals, but with that inner calm
Yep.
state of mind, it helps us to attract also everything that will be aligned with our big goals.
That is correct. Oh, so true.
Yeah, I like our conversation because when it comes to human potential and success, this is how everything becomes more juicy because we get to the real roots, yes, like real roots and causes of results that unfortunately not many people understand.
So when I was just a pure tech guy, I would not even have thought about all these things. So I think it was my destiny where things happened in a way that I got involved in financial markets. And then I got to learn this human side of the human behavior side and psychology. And now I can see, put two and two together. And that's where I decided, I say, "Oh, I want to put this message out because there are so many people like me who go through this, and hopefully it will help them." And that's why I'm out and about on this now. So I've been hiding, and now I'm out with my book, and I'm slowly and surely in platforms like yours trying to spread this message out that it's up to you. You are the solution architect, and you can do it. It's
Yes,
doable.
yes.
I'm the live example of it. So
So I see so much wisdom in your words and that connection that you could connect the success and be strong in technology. And it is not only about technology, it is in every field. If you are strong in any field, but you are missing understanding who you are, that will be causing the gap between
yeah,
success and the knowledge.
yeah.
Asim, do you think many high performers are operating from fear without realizing it?
Like I mentioned earlier, the CIOs, CTOs, CEOs, they are just worried about the competition, and then they are buying tech with a reactionary decision making process, which is all fear based. That's why my slogan is stop buying the fear, build the future with a positive mindset. And in the rat race, that's where I think they lose that connection. They don't look within. All they're looking is outside. Who's doing what, and then how do I catch up? And they lose their sleep. They lose their heart. They lose their minds, and that's where I'm trying to tell them, "Hey, you need to slow down, build your own personal operating system, manage your own EPDF, energy, patience, discipline, and focus. And then you can start rethinking work and take it from there to proper execution where it will be good for you, for your business."
Again, I can't agree more than that. Yes, really important to understand that we are not competing. It is not even right to compete when we have these creative faculties and we can create something which will make existing models obsolete. So when you have that approach, you don't have fear anymore because you don't want to compete with other people. You think that what I can bring in this world serves something that can get more value to people, that I can serve even bigger. And this is the
Your
idea. Yes.
If you want to compete, look in the mirror. That's where your biggest competition is. So you just compete for yourself with yourself and become a better person, and go from there. And then to your point, outside the value, sustainable value becomes when you are co-creating with others. So compete with yourself, create with others. That's another mantra. I just came up with that.
Yeah, I like it. Yes, compete with yourself and compare yourself with yourself yesterday. Yes, and you don't need to compare yourself with anyone because you're so
Yeah.
unique. And the company which you create can be also very unique if you come from your inner values and that
Yeah.
creative mind and what you can create for people and focus on service to be good in what you do to meet everyone with impression of increase and give every client everybody you meet the best what you can.
Yeah. 100%.
Yes, so yeah, this is again about attitude, right? So this attitude will make you so much ahead of all your competitors. Great. So, what are the first steps someone can take to move from fear-based decisions to clarity and focus?
Yeah, so those three steps I mentioned is first step is to align, see where you are with your PPT, people, process, and technology. Second, manage your EPDF, your energy, patience, discipline, and focus. And third is your execution phase is rethink work that and redefine your hard versus smart and be a continuous learner and be adaptable and manage your risk.
Thank you so much, Asim, for sharing. So, before we wrap up this episode, could you please tell a little bit about your book? And we will place the link in description to this episode where readers can find it.
So the book is my reflection, and then mostly the methodology in the book is from my company Avigna. So I'm the founder of Avigna. It's a technology and business advisory firm, and that currently mostly caters to B2B and then B2G over in US. So I'm trying to expand into the business to consumer so that more people like me get this message. So Avigna by itself, it means remover of obstacles. And that's kind of correlates to the meaning of being unblocked. So our slogan is finding solutions and enabling success. So the book is about moving the anxious professional from feeling fragile to freedom. So from get rid of their anxiety, follow the frameworks in the book that's around alignment and measurement and then execution. So this is like a business strategy book which you can use to self reflect. And my website would be avignallc.com. It's AVIGNA LLC.com. It has about page with more information about me, and then there is a training tab that I did not touch about. A network and security architect, I was able to create a vibe coded app, a coaching app based on my book. And the link is on my website, training.avignallc.com, where you can take a free assessment around EPDF and see where you are. It's free. And then there's a training option based on the book as well. And then there are a couple of coaching tiers. There is a AI coaching. That's the app I created. It's based on all the frameworks in the book. So it's training.avignallc.com, and then avignallc.com is my personal website. So
Asim,
that's
thank you so much for sharing your perspective and your journey with us today. And this conversation reminds us that no matter how advanced technology becomes, true progress still starts within us. AI can give us speed, tools, and access to information,
mhm.
but without clarity, focus, and self awareness, it can also amplify confusion and fear, as we discussed today. If there is one takeaway from today's episode, it's this. Before looking for the next tool, strategy, or system, we must first ask: am I clear or am I operating from fear? Take a moment to reflect. Where in your life or business might you be blocked? Not by external circumstances, but by internal patterns. And if this conversation resonates with you, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Asim, where can your listeners connect with you and learn more about your work? I think this you mentioned that it is website and the app will be.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. It's actually on Google Read as well and Amazon. It's widely available on there. And on my website, in my About page, there is a link to the book as well from there. And then training.avignallc.com, it also has links to my book as well. So.
Great, great. So we put all the links in the description. And thank you for listening to Mindset2Results, where we bring together experts who ideas inspire you to think bigger, act bolder, and achieve more. And thank you,
Thank
Asim,
you.
so
And
much.
this one just takeaway is you are the solution architect of your life. Just remember that.
Yes, yes, you are the cause, and everything else is just the effects. This is one true idea that changed a lot in my life when I understood that everything is in me. I am the cause. Many people might not accept, and sometimes it is difficult for them to accept. Like situation can be not directly linked, but it works. It is not even our decisions, it is related also to our beliefs and those thoughts and feelings patterns which were created even in our childhood.
Yeah, it's easy said than done. It's everybody has their own journey. So it comes to people at different times. So some it can come in 5 years, 1 year. Some it takes 20 years. So
Yes, and our
but it
podcast.
does come.
Yes, this is for our podcast is there when we interview people from different countries, different field of expertise, and we bring the best knowledge, the best ideas what people discovered behind their success stories. So this knowledge can help people to speed up in finding their true self and their success.
Definitely. Definitely.
Thank you so much, Asim, for being amazing guest. So we are looking forward to see you again in the Circle of Fame and in our future episodes.